Greetings and salutations, Internet Dozens. It is I, Wolfphototech, and here we are with another fun video. This time it's me doing a quick review of Call of Cthulhu Screen Keepers pack. It's not just a screen. It's not simply the Game Master screen. It's a Keepers screen pack. If you remember my first few videos, all covering the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition Dungeon Master or Game Master screens, these next set of screens I'm going to go through are from other companies besides Wizards of the Coast or Gale Force 9. So it's going to be illuminating. First and foremost, if you notice, there's this shiny that's actually just the plastic on the bottom portion. So, boom, there you got this lower section that this top is set in. I actually removed the plastic already off the top. I don't even keep that. I tossed it right off the bat. You got the award mark, because this won an award. Chaosium, basic information about the screen pack, because it's a pack, not just simply a screen. And then you have this sheet that goes over the top of everything. That's actually a sort of a sleeved side of it. I remove everything from there because it's not simply just a screen pack. You got this sheet right here with the artwork and everything on it again, as well as the base. So me putsies, backsies, insies. So there you go. Grab the Starfinder box to stand it up against. And then I'm on to the screen. But wait, there's more to this. This is not going to be just a standard screen situation. With this Screen Keepers pack, you actually get 2 adventures that are somewhat scaled to newer Game Masters. One is Mist Dews and Blackwater Creek. Seth Sarkowski has already done reviews on these. I will do a review of these sometime in the future. Note on the back it says Chaosium Fiction, BRP. Those are sublines. You got the Investigator's book, but you also have the book that these adventures originally came from. Actually, no, that's a novel. Brain fart. It's actually a fairly thick book. There's considering 2 adventures in here, there's 88 pages in this book, which is greater than the 64 pages per each Spelljammer book. So you got one book here that's already thicker than Spelljammer, any one of the 3 Spelljammer books for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. The next thing is you have a Keeper References booklet. This booklet is a handy-dandy reference booklet for all you keepers. Explains a great deal of the base skills and chances and phobias and manias. Quick, simple table. A sample of poisons. Oh, you have to have a list of poisons. You got a list of mythos terms. It actually doesn't explain. It basically is a gigantic list section of all the different lists of all the different skills, simple phobias, manias, sample phobias and manias, sample poisons with basic information on the sample poisons, where this is just a list of stuff with a quick description like phonomania, murder, pathological tendency to phonomania. Foreign things, obsession with xenomania. The manias. Animaniacs. Interestingly enough, number 96 is Witches and Witchcraft. Wiccaphobia. Got the entire list of all the tomes, or a lot of them. Basic information on weapons like bow and arrows, brass knuckles, bullwhip, burning torch, chainsaw, blackjack, Kosh life preserver, and so forth. Rifles, shotguns, handguns, basic stats for a lot of common things, you know, that your players might be using in your campaigns. So you have a quick reference source for everything. Then you have a keeper rulebook index. So if you have the rule keeper book nearby, you have a handy dandy index to tell you, hey, if you're looking for, say, campaigns, it's on page 218 in the keeper book. Yet again, more lists of things, rule summaries, other useful information, spells, mythos tomes, table index, occult books, investigators, index for the investigator's handbook. Investigator's handbook. By the way, in order to run Call of Cthulhu, you only truly need one book. You only really need one book, the Investigator's Handbook, to play Call of Cthulhu as a player. But as a keeper, you could still use this. You're just missing seeing all the cool monsters and all that stuff in Call of Cthulhu. But you can still work out the mechanics of the game from this book. However, if you truly wanted a book that everyone can use, even players, the Keeper's Rulebook literally has basically a basic version of the character creation rules in it, as well as a whole ton of creatures, mythos tomes, etc., etc. So you only truly need one. This book right here, this book is basically the expanded options for players, but this still has player options in it. Just the basic ones. So kind of aside on that one. I don't know why I came out of that order wrong. But yeah. Now onto the back side. And then you happen to have, in this pack, character sheets for 1920s era characters. None of these are not pre-made character sheets. These are just standard character sheet, 1920s era character sheets. You got about like 5 of them there. No, 6. You got 6 1920s era character sheets. You got handouts for the adventures that are in here for Blackwater Creek and Mist Dews. You have a map of the world. The paper that they use for this is actually high quality paper. It's only one-sided though. So, nothing on the back side, everything on the front. This is Arkham Massachusetts map. That brain fart. This is handy dandy because this is actually one of the major places. This is a lot of campaigns and adventures travel to or hang out around. So, boom, you got that. You have Miskatonic County map, which is also rather nice to have because, yet again, a lot of adventures revolve around this county that does not actually exist. And then the star of this pack, which is not really the star, but it's still kick-ass awesome, is actual screen. The screen is a 3-panel landscape. I prefer 4 to 5 panel landscapes. The artwork is actually quite evocative of the feel of Call of Cthulhu, but more in a rural setting. The screen on the inside is really to the point. black and white, no frills, no thrills. However, it all contains highly important information that's highly useful. Across the top, there's a gauge going from left to right that you can use for your adventures. Insanity and extreme difficulty gauge. You have a determining difficulty section here. Bonus and penalty dice explanation. Comparing results. Firearms rules. Other forms of damage. Investigator development phase instructions. And living standards. You got combat structure here on this section panel. You got Bouts of Madness summary, Bouts of Madness real time instructions, Phases of Insanity, Sanity cost examples, with a little dice roll mechanic right there for yourself. There is Spells and Tomes little section right down here. Boop. Just a tiny one, just a teeny tiny one right down here of some basic tomes and spells. Phobias and manias. Chase rules for Call of Cthulhu, which is actually kind of neat how they set up the chase rules system. Damage levels. Damage diagram, explaining how damage is rolled out and calculated through a character and how it affects them. Vehicular collisions, major wound healing, and vehicle damage section right here. The only thing about this screen here is that oh yeah, there's a little information about Chaosium bar right down here. But the problem I have with this screen is there's actually a few problems with this screen. The first problem is it's a 3-panel, not a 4-panel. There's so much stuff included in this. It's amazing. And then this is like, okay. Second problem is that all the text is really small overall. And there's a lot of stuff that's crammed down really low on the screen. So when you're game mastering or you're being the keeper, it's not terribly effective to look down deep into the screen to read the tiny text. You have to have really good eyes. I have like a really good eye and a 99% decent eye. So I can read it. It's just you're hunching over, trying to read really tiny text in there. All the charts are really tiny in here. They like really crammed it in here. The thing that would fix this screen, that would alleviate so much of these problems, is if they literally had this be a 4-panel and they took a lot of this stuff and lifted it higher in the screen and made it bigger and stretched it across 4 panels or 5 panels. And that would be awesome. And then you could fill like the bottom edge of it with artwork or diagrams of things, like explanation of how distance and movement is related in Call of Cthulhu and stuff like that, which in fact in the case of Call of Cthulhu, your character movement is not terribly important, nor is the complexity of action outside of being overtly ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to build an entire car inside of an entire turn in Call of Cthulhu, but, you know, every so often you get a crazy person who thinks they can push that to the limit. So, yeah, this is the thing that this pack is named around, the Keeper Screen Pack. But this is actually probably the lowest point in quality of the whole thing. It is completely serviceable. You can use it. It has tons of important information. If you ever have to see the other information or want to read it in a different structure or more examples, in each one of these sections there is a page number, either in the... This is inconsistent, by the way. Right here in the combat section, the page number in the Keeper's book is right here in the top of the bar. However, in the Rules About Madness and Madness summary, it is down here in the bottom corner of it. And that seems to be consistent overall, except for a weird occasion where they will not actually bother listing it. Like here in the Bouts of Madness real-time table, there is no page number for that. The vast majority of the time, they almost always put a page number somewhere in here. So if you look for it really quickly, you will find the page number, but the important thing about the Bouts of Madness summary and the Bouts of Madness real time is that the rules for the Bouts of Madness in the real time rules is right by the Bouts of Madness summary, so it won't take you long going from here to here in the book, but still probably just adding the page number to kick you a step a little faster would be awesome. As a Game Master screen, all the information is highly useful and highly important stuff. It has a lot of complex mechanics explained in very concisely with flow charts. In fact, multiple flow charts. You got a flow chart here, and you got a flow chart over here for your damage diagram. It does it all very well. It's just crammed a little too much. This would be like if they turn this into a 4-panel. This would be a 4-star plus easily panel screen, but since they made the poor decision of compacting it into a 3-panel landscape, it's only going to get like a 3.25 star one. It is so close to like a 4.25 or a 4.5 star one if this was stretched out across 4 panels. I do like the fact that they did make the good decision of making a landscape setup. I do not care for the fact that they made it really cramped and it was only three panels. All the handouts in here are actually exceedingly nice to have. It's always nice to have more character sheets in another bundle. Throw in a few more character sheets, awesome. You get this really nice set of a pair of adventures. It's all written out exceedingly well in this book, with maps and everything. I mean, they put a lot of effort in here. You got pre-made characters that are included in this as well. So if you're thumbing through, you got the introduction section for Blackwater Creek. And then you have the missed dues information section right here. And down here is the conclusion and everything else. And then there's a little section right here, pre-generated character sheets for the Blackwater Creek adventure, as well as pre-generated character sheets for missed dues. If I remember correctly, all the pre-generated characters are criminals, which is just, yeah, that's nice. Is that you give us multiple pre-generated characters. However, having them all be criminals in both versions is not terribly awesome. It would have been much nicer if you had just all the pre-generated characters put into a simple section by itself. And then had 4 or 5 good pre-generated characters you can use between both campaigns, and 4 or 5 pre-generated criminals that can be used across both scenarios. Sorry, I keep saying campaign when it's actually the common term for Call of Cthulhu scenario. So this is actually a really nice. This is basically a 4-star right here, a 4+ star package. The only thing that is a letdown is the fact that they went with a 3-panel horizontal and they crammed all the stuff so tightly into it that it is actually harder to read it quickly or find your information quickly the first few times. However, you use the screen enough times, you'll eventually will remember where it is and remember the rules, but by then you don't really use the screen information anymore. You just memorized the rules at that point, and you're just looking up quick reference for all the finer details. So, fix the problem, make a 4-panel screen, stretch the stuff out, make the text bigger. That's awesome. That would have solidly locked this in the 4+ star territory easily. I like it. I love it. You think this pack is thick? The RuneQuest one says, hello! That is a really thick pack. So, there you go. That's the next one. So, thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, and this is a really long video because this is not a simple screen. This is like literally a whole pile of fun stuff, plus two scenarios to get your party started. They are fairly new player friendly, and they are bad guy adventures first and foremost, with good guy options written into the adventure rules. So that is just awesome, awesome, awesome. Yet again, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment below. If you dislike this video, consider subscribing, disliking, and commenting below. Share it wherever you want to go. And have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful weekend, a magnificent month, and see you next time.